Hello everyone, and welcome back to Into the Breach. I watched over the last episode, and it seemed like the game volume was a little bit low. I've turned that up a bit, but hopefully not too much. And I guess it's time to continue here. So, where to? The rewards for each of these two are the same, but this one unlocks more things we could get in the future. This is a nice easy one we could do. And it would get us to here, but I don't really want to do that. Defend the train is a bit tricky. I have had some trouble with trains in the past, but I guess we have a lot of guys with pushing, so it'll hopefully be fine. Also, kill at least 7 I mean, I don't know. This is not so easy either. But we're going to go here. Go ahead. Old Horse here is the only diesel train left on the planet. That isn't at the bottom of the ocean, anyway. He's still going strong, carrying vital supplies across the island. Remember, these are old Earth historians. So an Alpha Firefly, like we saw in the last mission, and a normal Firefly. And they all have 1 extra hit point because there's a Soldier Scion. Great. So I'd like to destroy the Soldier Scion early so that I can deal with these guys. Oh, and there's another unit on the screen. A train. So it has only 1 health. If it ever takes any damage, it's destroyed. And it doesn't have a move phase, but its action is to move forward by 2 spaces. And we don't want to let it collide with anything. Fine. Oh, fire immune. That's good to know. I never noticed that before. I don't know where to put that guy. I like my artillery. Actually, let's put artillery there and this guy here. This way, I kind of like for artillery to have a large number of spaces to move along both axes. It doesn't really matter that much where he is on those 2 axes as long as he can move around. In fact, given that, this would be better because now he can reach a bit more up. And he can still reach the same squares he could down. So this guy I like kind of close combat. This guy, I don't know, not very good at placing him. So let's see what we can do here. Alright, well this is great looking news. Oh, it just got better even, I think. So first good news is that we can just punch this guy and he'll die. He walked right in front of us, easy. Second good news, this guy is not attacking a city, so we don't have to do anything about him if we don't want to. And I was thinking also, oh, great news, we can push him onto one of these tiles. That's great. And then I was like, what are we going to do about this guy, though? But actually, there's a very strong solution available. And I'll just show you guys. I'm pretty happy with it now. So we're going to kill this guy. Easy play. Then we're going to, like, I don't know where to put him, but let's say here. We're going to shoot this guy, pushing him onto the blah, blah, blah. Wait, am I doing this backward? No, this is great. Okay. Shoot this guy, pushing him onto the spawner. And delaying this spawn for a turn while also dealing some damage with this guy. Now we have the problem that we're being shot at, right? And we're being shot at for like a lot. It would destroy us. So what I'm going to do is this. That serves 2 purposes. It frees up, it saves this building, and it puts this guy in range where he's going to be attacked by the Alpha. Now, everything has an order that it happens in. And often the order doesn't matter, but when it does matter, you can check. And here, what will happen is this guy is attacking before this guy. So this will deal 3 damage, destroying this guy, and then he won't get a chance to attack us. So perfect. We didn't manage to kill the Alpha Firefly, but we are taking no damage to anything meaningful this turn, and we're killing most of the enemies, and we're blocking a spawn. So a good turn. And the train. They continue to make poor decisions. Let's see. So first thing to do is attack this guy, I believe, but I'm not going to commit yet. It pushes him off of the thing. It does some damage to him. It's great. What I want to do after that, ideally, is artillery attack this square. The problem is the only way to do that is from here. And I was rather hoping to have pushed this guy onto this square, blocking this spawner, or rather blocking a spawner is the most important thing. And also leaving this guy on top of this spawner, right, would be great. Notably, we're at victory in 2 turns already, which means that there's only going to be 1 more round of spawns. So any spawns we block this turn is like as good as defeating an enemy. It's great. But I don't think I see a way to get this guy onto here and this guy onto here without, like, losing a mech, which I don't want to do. So I think I'll have to settle for just killing this guy rather than having him block a spawner. So let's do this. Oh, also, if I were to artillery mech shooting this square, it would push my combat mech into a building, which I don't want. So I think, yeah, that's another reason not to try for that plan. So let's start with this. It's a strong play. We might as well do it. You could imagine there might be better plays available, but at some point you have to commit to something. And I think we're just going to do, like, this. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. I was going to do it after moving this cannon mech. But if I shoot now, I can push this guy while I destroy this guy using my cannon mech to bump into it, which seems quite strong, actually. I like that idea. There we go. Now he won't be a problem next turn. And we're blocking this spawner, which is good. And we might as well block another spawner here. Choose to take some damage. I could start a forest fire here, but that doesn't seem like a good idea to me. This guy's going to take 1 more damage. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Since I'm not attacking, a thing I only recently learned you can do on, like, my 4th playthrough is you can repair as your attack, as your action, I should say, which removes 1 damage, and we're damaged, so, like, let's do it. Great. And this guy came up in the middle of a fire, which means he is already on fire, and that's great. Great news. So we can move through the train since it's an ally, which is important. Yes, I believe we have a solution here. First, we come in and punch this guy. Then we push each of these guys, and I believe we can push each of them. Yes. Great. Okay, let's do that. So, destroyed. We got some experience. Lovely. Now, this guy can only push here, so we'll do that. This guy could push either of them, but we wanted to push this one. We want to push him out of the way of the train, not into it, of course, so we just do this. There we go. A perfect mission. We had to wait for the Vec to finish attacking things, but they weren't attacking anything interesting. Imagine, like, it's a good thing we were able to block 2 spawns there, right? Imagine if we had more spawns. What a mess. Alright, so we got our full reward. that's the end of that mission. Now, for 3 reward missions, there are more enemies. And like on hard mode, I sometimes take damage on these on normal mode. On hard mode, it just seems like yikes, right? I don't know if I'm up for that. But you know what? You know, guts or glory. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'm gonna give it a try. Let's do this one first. Might as well get some more health, right? Sure. Well, we might not want to do that one. We might want to do like this and this. No, we can't. We're gonna have to do this one eventually, so we might as well do it now. Build up a little more confidence. Okay, so we have our objectives to block 3 spawns and also protect this coal plant. Let's start by deploying artillery, because I think that, like, well, I thought I had a clear place to put him, but I'm not so sure actually. Here's okay. Probably like here and there. All right. Very creative. All in a straight line. That's how amazing. What a genius placement. So he's webbed, but of course he can always help himself by just pushing a thing out of the way. Oh, and it would even block a spawn, which is superb news. So that's how I see this turn going. We're going to come in here and destroy this guy. We're going to shoot this guy, pushing him into... We got a promotion just now or something? I don't know exactly where to see it, but we'll learn about giving out experience, I guess. Push this guy here, blocking a spawn, and push that guy out of harm's way, or push him so that the building's out of harm's way anyway. Okay. So right now what I'm thinking is an artillery shot right here is useful. And it's not as useful as I would like. I mean, it takes care of 2 threats, which is great. But I was hoping that by artillery shooting here, I could kill this guy, push this guy here, and then push him again to get him here. But I can't actually do that. I can't get anyone on this side of him. So maybe I have to settle for doing this. Artillery shoot here, killing this guy and pushing this guy here. That lets me use my mech, my combat mech, to kill this guy. And then we can cannon mech to deal damage to this guy while getting him out of the way. It's not ideal, but it'll do, I guess. Cities don't mind being pushed. I don't know if that... Or buildings don't mind being pushed. I don't know if that's come up yet. There we go. So that's our second spawn block, and we take 1 damage. Ha. So we need to block one of these 2 somehow. And that's really the only thing we have to do this turn, right? I mean, we'd like to kill monsters, I guess. I was thinking it was the last turn, but it's not. It's just the last chance monsters have to spawn. So something we could do that would be useful would be to... oh, right, of course, there's still a spawn coming up here. Oh, this is an alpha, so he attacks for 2, and he also does it over a longer distance. He targets 2 different tiles, as you can see here. Now, fortunately, the only one attacking a building is this guy, so if we can just like push him, then everything else we do is sort of we have free reign. So what would be quite useful is to move this guy out of the way, say to here. This gets this guy. Yes, oh, this is so great. All right, we're gonna push this guy here. And back up, artillery this guy, so now they're adjacent to each other. And because of the way the ordering works, first, this guy will kill this guy. Now he's not being shot at anymore, so the 2 won't happen. And then the enemy will emerge killing this guy. So both these guys are dead, and we accomplished our goal of not getting of blocking a 3rd spawn. So that's great news. And now the question is just what to do with this guy. Obviously, we'd like to do a damage to him. Just not sure exactly the best way to do it. Standing still is an okay way. Just like this. Seems fine. Great, and so it's marked off that we finished our objective. And now all we have to do is make sure that no one destroys any buildings. It would be nice to defeat some enemies as well, but we don't have to. And there seems to be a pretty simple solution to that. We attack here, here, and here. There we go. Very simple turn. So we got all the rewards we wanted, including getting back some health. And yeah, we got promoted. So pilot mech reactor increased by 1. So let's now look at how mechs are, how they work. So each mech has up to 2 weapons, and you have an amount of power available to power stuff. So for example, if we wanted to, we could not power this weapon, and then we just wouldn't have it available in combat. We'd have 1 more power available instead. Doesn't strike me as a good plan. The weapon's kind of the most important part of all these mechs, so we'll keep it there, but it's a thing you can do. And many weapons, but not all, have ways you can spend more power on them to cause them to be more powerful. For example, the artillery mech, you can gain buildings immune, which is like you can shoot at buildings and it doesn't damage them and you get the push effect. So it's kind of a nice way to defend a building, right? Every mech you can upgrade by putting power into its, give it +2 health or +1 move. What else do we have available? We have, so right now we only have 1 power in this mech, but we could move so the pilots are distinct from the mechs. Each mech has a pilot. So the combat mech has not itself leveled up at all, it just has a new pilot. So we could have this guy switch to piloting something else if we wanted the power elsewhere, is why I'm looking at all these other things. So we could upgrade the Titan Fist to allow you to dash towards an enemy, if we wanted. But that costs 2 extra power, which we don't have. So I think actually the strongest play we have available is to swap pilots so that our heroic guy is... I don't know why, like, when you do this, it lights up this, like, as if you could drag and drop, but you can't. You have to put him into the inventory. Okay, so now our guy who has the special ability, mech, whatever mech he's in has 1 extra power. we've put him into the mech that can make the best use of that power by giving this. He also has like this, I don't know, this seems, all the like particularly strong pilots, the ones you can start the game with, they have like one special ability. And his is like you get more experience, which is fine, but that takes up one of his 3 ability slots. And so as soon as you're done leveling up, it like he just sucks. I don't know. Doesn't seem that good to me. But so now our artillery is free to attack buildings. Great. Now I believe we will get just one more mission, actually, right? I think there's always 3 left when you're done with an island. Maybe it's 2, but I think it's 3. So we get to choose. I don't think I'm up for this. It's just hard. Defend the satellite launches. That's a nice, relatively easy one, I think. These satellites are the centerpiece of our Race to Space exhibit, but they'll prove more useful providing telemetry for our defenses. Okay. So here, these satellites are kind of like friendlies, in that the Vec will attack them, and also every so often, or not every so often, like after a couple of turns, they launch a satellite into space, which destroys everything adjacent to the launcher. So our job is to make sure that all of those launches go off. There's a combat, or an alpha there, which is blue. Bunch of hornets. So there's water. We haven't really looked at water before. If you push enemies who can't fly into water, they drown, which is like, it's very strong. It just kills them instantly. Flying enemies don't care so much about that. Yeah, I guess here's fine. Actually, let's swap the... Yeah, like that. Okay. So it's a bummer that we have all this water that's easily accessible, but we're fighting flying monsters. Oh well. Alright, here's our first time pod. So on some missions, I don't know if it's like how it gets decided, but somehow, sometimes, there'll be a time pod available. And it's worth a reactor core if you rescue it, like 1 power, which is very strong. It's at least 1 power, perhaps more. Perhaps something else in addition to the power. Like you could find a new weapon or a new pilot or whatever. These are time pods sent from the future to help you out. Remember, we're time travelers. So that's great. You can go stand on them to collect them if you want, but as long as they have not been damaged before the battle ends, you get them at the end of combat anyway. So right now I don't see any. A, we like literally can't walk to it, but B, there's no big rush. So what are we gonna do here? I think something that looks pretty good is to attack this guy and push this guy onto one of these so that he dies. Like so. I made a mistake already. That's what I started playing fast because the last mission went so well and I wanted to get through some more islands, but what I should have done was, before pushing this guy with my combat mech, I should have moved my artillery here and shot him to do 1 extra damage. Right now my artillery can't actually reach anything to attack it. Except this guy, and I don't want to damage this guy. So we'll go ahead and shoot like this, you know. Now he's gonna die and block this spawn, which is great. But I can't do anything. You know, I could push him a bit. Push this guy. Like, none of that seems very productive. But I guess I might as well. So that's the kind of mistake I don't think I can afford to make in hard mode. I missed 1 damage on this guy. On the other hand, had I taken it, I would be standing here, which is not a very strong position to be in, so I don't know. I think it still would be worth doing. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so this turn, this satellite is about to launch. It will destroy everything adjacent to it. However, it will do that after enemy turns, not before. So we can't just leave this guy here to be destroyed. In fact, it seems like pushing him onto this is a pretty good play, if we can manage it. Can I manage it? Not really. So you can move into water, but if you do, then you can't attack. So what I would like to push him here, but I think pushing him into the water is like just as good because he dies, and that's like even better than delaying a spawn for a turn is destroying a monster. Not always, but sometimes. Here it's like you could destroy a monster now, or leave the monster alive and have another monster that like you don't see yet, but you still see eventually. It doesn't seem that great. So I think I want to do that. That is to say, push him into the water. I can't do anything very useful with this guy to him. I suppose I could, like, yeah. I think that this is the play. We do this. Now he's... Hello? Oh, that's not a building. Interesting. So we have buildings immune, but these guys are units, not buildings, apparently. Fine. So our attack does 1 damage to it, but that's fine. It's about to launch. We just need to stop it from being destroyed, which this accomplishes. So actually, that means... God, I'm playing too fast. That means we didn't have to attack this at all. It was going to take 1 damage and then kill this guy. And what did we do? We made it take 1 damage and killed that guy. So it was like a completely pointless attack. We could have saved it for, say, destroying this guy. So that's twice now I've missed 1 damage against him. Because what I'm going to do now is... We can use this guy to kill either one of these two. However, it's better to use him to kill the small hornet instead of the big one. Because this guy is limited in what he can accomplish. The only one he can push out of the way is here. If we push this guy, yeah, he won't attack this building, but he'll attack this one instead. So we need to destroy this guy and push this guy. So that's 2 ways I've missed to kill this Alpha Hornet. Pretty bad. Well, at least the Vek aren't doing anything very threatening this turn. That's something. So I think that I would like to destroy this guy, taking away their health bonuses. And let's see. Yeah, this is pretty good. Well, okay, let's back up. My plan is to deal 1 damage to this guy with someone, and right now the only guy that I can usefully reach with this guy is him, so I might as well do it this way. Actually, let's go here. And now what to do with this guy. I can shoot either of them, but even better than that is shoving this guy into the water. Okay, so that mech is in a bit of trouble. But fortunately, we didn't leave him next to a launching satellite. So he's pinned, but like he won't get just absolutely killed if he doesn't move. So what I'm thinking is like let him stay here. Oh yeah, victory in 1 turn. So we just have to like not die, right? Which is pretty easy to do. These 2 guys are not going to kill him, even if they both live. And this guy's going to die all on his own. So what I'd like to do is just, like, attack this guy. Actually, hang on. If I attack that guy, I won't be able to deal the final damage to him. Yeah, I will. Oh yeah, let's just put this guy into the water. With, like so. Great. Watery Grave. We got an achievement. Drown 3 enemies in the water in a single battle. So the idea is the unlock system in the game is based around like getting these little achievements with each squad, and the achievements are different for each squad, and they're sort of based around like what the squad is good at. So this squad has an unusually high number of monsters who of mechs who can push enemies, and so like drowning guys, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, and we'll finish this guy off like by pushing him away and then nuking him. Actually, let's do it the fancy way. Drown him. And now this guy is going to get to attack us, but then he'll be killed by the launching satellite. And we get to collect the time pod now because it was not destroyed. Alright, we're getting data back. We got all the things. Continue. What's in the pod? Ooh, so we got the reactor core, which is always in a time pod. And this time it did have something in addition. It had a weapon. It is a new weapon for Prime class mechs. So there are like 4 or maybe 5 different classes of mech. I think it's just 4, but it might be 5. And within each class, there are multiple different like specific mechs. So Prime is a kind of mech, and our combat mech is one kind of Prime mech. So we could put this on our guy who does the punching, and it's sort of demonstrating how it works using our punching guy as an example. So great, let's take it. I always think I should click on these to pick them up, but you don't. You just hit continue. Yes, okay, so it does. There are 3 things we didn't get to, and we never get to them, and now we have to go like the final battle for this island. But first, I'd like to. I don't understand how that like this works. So, in order to power this, there's sort of 2 ways we could do it, right? One is like so. The other is we could move this guy who has the special +1 power and have him go back into the Prime mech and then have both of these powered. We would lose this effect of the buildings being immune, and I don't know which is more important, having buildings immune or having 2 attacks, still having our Titan Fist. I'm going to try it like this. Disable the Titan Fist completely. I don't know exactly. I don't understand, like... It says chain damage through adjacent targets, but do I have to worry about attacking friendlies? I don't know how it works exactly. Oh, I can test it. That's right. So let's test this. So first of all, what happens if I do this? You can't attack buildings at all. You attack all adjacent bad guys, I guess. Can I get like a different test setup where there's... So like what happens if I go here? It doesn't go through me. It's a specific... All enemies who are adjacent to each other in a group. Okay. So here's one. What happens with buildings? I think it just doesn't go through them at all. Yeah. All right. So that seems good. Our punching weapon could be better in a lot of situations, though. I don't know. We'll try it with this new weapon. And leave this building's immune effect. I still don't know if that's best, but that's what I'll try. So at the end of each island, there's a final conflict where you have like a special building you want to protect. This is the corporate tower, and there's also one especially strong enemy. Here we have a Hornet leader. They're even stronger than Alpha Hornets. They attack for 2 damage just like the other guys, but they do it in in a radius of 3. Not radius, a distance of 3. Also, they have a ton of hit points. So, you know, there's a challenge. Let's get started, I guess. And we'll go like here. Yeah, here. Here. I don't know. I'm not very good at placing artillery. So first thing to note is that, like, we can just kill this guy. Oh, that's right, we have the new weapon, so we damage both of them. I was thinking it would damage this guy by 1 because of the push, but it doesn't push anymore. So this seems decent. Having done this, we probably want to fire an artillery shot here. Ah, and I was worried about how do we kill this guy? Or how do we get this guy pushed? We can't get behind him, and pushing him this way doesn't solve the problem. Like so, right? Like, say we move the artillery mech out of the way. Pushing this way doesn't solve the problem. He's still attacking a building. However, this guy's attack range is so long that if we push him in this direction, he's going to kill this other Hornet before the Hornet gets to attack. So I think that's a very strong start, is to go like this. Yeah, like this. Just make sure I haven't made any moves I don't want to. Okay, just these two. Go here. Go here. Shoot. Hang on. Where do I want this guy? Probably here, right? Yeah. Now shoot here. Doing it the other order would have been wrong because we can't move through this enemy. Right, this move would not be possible if we push this guy into this square. Alright, so we go here first. Then we do this. And then why not? Let's shoot him, right? Get some more damage in. So our goals, in case I didn't mention, we get a reward for defeating this monster specifically, and also for not letting anything happen to this building specifically. Okay. So he's not as good at freeing himself as he used to be. Because he can't push enemies away, right? However, I think we still have a quite good solution to this problem. Which is to first move here and shoot this so that these guys are adjacent. So that this guy gets free, and these guys are adjacent to each other. Then we come in and attack this guy, and also shoot this guy into this guy for the 3rd point of damage. Dealing 3 damage to each of these. 2 from this attack. Actually 4 to this guy, but we don't need it. Yeah, okay. I like that plan. So let's just make sure all my moves are set. Great. Go here. Come here. Like so. And then... Now... Oh yeah, we definitely need to kill these guys. I was going to remark, if I wanted to, I could end my turn here instead, blocking a spawn instead of attacking these guys, but that's a bad reason for, like, bad idea for several reasons. Let's just kill these guys off. Okay, end turn. So far so good, but there's a lot of monsters coming in this turn. We're gonna have to find good answers to them. Okay, I see some good solutions. Specifically, I'd like this guy to attack here, dealing the 2 damage and killing him, but he can't move yet. Well, how do we fix that? by pushing this guy away with our artillery. And I think here is the right place to push him, not here. Could be wrong, but that seems good. And then this guy, well, we could push this guy into the water if we wanted, but it's better to push this guy just so he's not attacking the building anymore. So that's my line, is to go here and here. Destroy this guy and just back off. So, oh, we're gonna take damage on the combat mech. Oh well, doesn't matter much, I guess. There we go. No building damage yet. That's the good news. And we just have to survive all this for one more turn. Hopefully they don't make that too hard. Yeah, I think we have it all figured out. So we can just move out of the way of all these attacks, except that this guy is shooting a ranged attack that will hit this building if we do so. So we need to either push him into the water or off of this line. And it's pretty easy to push him up here. This guy we can shove into the water, or actually we can't, because this guy doesn't have a push anymore. Ah, we can use this guy to shove him into the water and this guy to kill the Hornet. Okay, so we back up like this. There we go. And yeah, I do think this is the only solution that doesn't involve anything getting hurt. I suppose I could just stand where I am. Yeah, that's better. This guy's only attacking for one. I could move here and push this guy so he attacks here instead of here. And then we take no building damage, but or mech damage. But we don't kill either of these guys. Better is to push this guy into the water so we gain a small amount of experience. We take one mech damage, but it doesn't matter. We get the plus 3 XP, which we wouldn't get from the other line. All right, we did it. So at this point, we get to we leveled up a bit here, and we got an achievement just for finishing the first island. So our grid defense is now 18 instead of 15. That's this guy's ability. At this point, we can now go shopping with these 8 corporate reputation that we earned. If we had successfully completed all of these missions, never missing a single objective, we would get a bonus reward now in addition to all the rewards we've earned. But since we missed, and it's quite strong to get that, but we missed one, so we don't get that. So let's just go shopping. They have to offer a few things. There's always 4 weapons and any number of reactors and grid powers that you want. You can sell your weapons or your pilots if you want to make money to afford to buy more of this stuff. So what do we have? We can buy an acid tank, which is a very expensive... So it costs only 1 reputation to buy, but it's very expensive to equip. It costs 2 power just to put it on. And what it does is it deploys a tank, which you can move around for the rest of combat as an independent unit. And that tank, when it attacks, doesn't deal any damage, but it applies the acid status effect to enemies, which causes them to take double damage for the rest of combat. So it's kind of like a slow build-up thing. It doesn't do anything the turn or anything much. It does not an attack the first turn you have it, but it could be actually like fairly okay against all these alphas we're running into with a bunch of hit points. So that's something to consider. We could buy this. Buildings gain a shield after taking damage. Not very strong. You don't like buildings to take much damage, so it doesn't go off very often. And it takes up a weapon slot, which is like very, very precious space. So I'm not going to buy that. Smoke pellets. So it's like a thing you can only use once per battle, but you guys haven't seen what smoke does yet, but Basically, if you're standing in smoke, you can't attack. And so surrounding yourself with smoke means all the enemies around you can't attack. But it's an okay weapon, but it is very expensive to use unless you have a science mech, which we don't. So I'm not that excited about that either. This last one is a Prime Spear, another weapon for our combat mech that lets you attack multiple tiles and deal damage to and push the furthest hit tile. So that's like pretty good, but we already have all the prime weapons we're gonna need. What we need more is now is just more power. So I'm gonna do the most boring thing is just buy 2 reactor cores for 6 rep and 2 grid power with the remainder. There you go. Nothing too exciting, but we're back to full health. We have some reactor cores. We're doing okay. And what do we put the reactor cores in? Well, building chain is okay. This is probably good, right? But it might be better to just have this available. Have our Titan Fist back. We could also give more damage to this guy. I don't know, the push is more important. I'm kind of inclined to just do this. Give this guy both. He has building chain, so he can do 2 damage to a lot of guys. Or, if necessary, he can push a thing. And sort of treat everyone else as ways to apply pushes so that the electric whip is at maximum power. Actually, it might be better, since we're sort of treating everyone else as pushers, it might be better to, instead of giving this guy his push ability at all, giving something else more move so he can get to the right spot every time. I don't know if that's a good play, but it might be. I don't know, we'll try it. So there you go, we're done with the first island. And now, so once you've played through the game once, every island you've ever gotten to, you can do these islands in any order, except that you can't do this island until you've done this one at least once. You can't do this one until you've done this one at least once. They sort of have increasing amounts of complexity, but not necessarily difficulty. So there you go, that was our first island. It looks like 1 island per video is it's kind of a long video, but it's possible. So maybe I'll go with that. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next island, and I'll see you next time.